Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a Bath & Body Works haul. It's been a minute. I just don't really shop there as often as I used to back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like a year ago. I knew that recently they had come out with some scents, but they kind of sounded a little bit generic to me and like scents that I already had in my collection. So I was like, I'm good with what I have. But of course you guys convinced me too, because I know there was a couple of you in the comments that had asked me if I had tried out their new scents. And I know I replied to a couple of you being like, no, I feel like I have them in my collection. I don't feel like I need to. And then you guys were literally like, no, you need to go because they're amazing. They don't smell like others. So I'm like, okay, you convinced me. So I went. Everything in this video is all new scents. So with all that being said, if you want to see the mists I picked up, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn your post notifications on, and let's get started. Okay, let's start off with the two that I was the most excited for that I wasn't originally gonna get. I thought I had these or a version of them in my collection, but you convinced me and I actually really like these two. So it is this collection, and I think in this collection it was just these two. So there's Cozy Vanilla Bourbon and Fresh Vanilla Blossoms. Let me start with Fresh Vanilla Blossoms. When I first sprayed this in the store, immediately a scent came to mind. Another Bath & Body Works scent that I actually have in my collection. I really love, and I did not expect this scent out of all scents to remind me of that other mist. And what this reminds me of is Kaleidoscope by Bath & Body Works, but they're not dupes whatsoever. They're completely different. It's just like initially when I spray this out, I just get this Kaleidoscope hint, but then immediately the more it dries down, I get that creamy vanilla. And I will say this is a dupe for a perfume, and that perfume is Sabrina Carpenter's Sweet Tooth. When this dries down, it is literally Sabrina Carpenter's Sweet Tooth. I don't know if anyone's picked that up, but that is all I'm smelling. This layered up with Sweet Tooth will be the most delicious creamy vanilla ever. I know it's called Fresh Vanilla Blossoms and you would expect this to not be as vanilla heavy, but the vanilla is very strong in here. It's just kind of equally balanced by some slightly fresher notes, but not in a way where I would call this a fresh scent. I don't even think I could call this a fresh vanilla. It's just not a vanilla to the extent of like a total gourmand. Like, it doesn't smell completely like cookies. If you've ever smelled Sweet Tooth, you know it has that creamy, chocolatey vanilla sweetness, but it also equally has that sexy perfuminess to it, and that's exactly what this one is giving me. This one has notes of suede petals, soft sandalwood, and vanilla bean. I'm so glad that I went to the store to pick this up, because when I first saw this, I was thinking this was gonna be like a fresh vanilla scent, and I'm like, I probably have another scent like it in my collection, or I just don't really care for it. And although technically I do have a scent like this in my collection because I have Sweet Tooth, I'm not mad at it because Sweet Tooth is one of my favorite scents, especially lately. I've been using it so much, and now that I have something perfect to layer up with it, I'm gonna be smelling like delicious, creamy chocolate vanilla all day long. And then the other scent is Cozy Vanilla Bourbon. This one I totally thought was gonna be a repackage, and to be honest, I haven't really seen that many reviews, so I don't know if this is a repackage, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Judging from the notes, it doesn't seem like a repackage because I feel like I would remember these notes. This one has notes of warm bourbon, dark fruit, and vanilla liquor. The notes totally got me on this one. Like, it just sounds so delicious. But this, to me, at least, does smell like a repackage. To me, this one smells a lot like Fireside Flurries. It's different, but it's also very similar. The notes for Fireside Flurries are completely different to the notes for Cozy Vanilla Bourbon. Fireside Flurries had toasted marshmallows, pink lavender, and cashmere woods. There's a heaviness in Fireside Flurries, and that lavender is also a little bit more there. It kind of gives a slight little masculine vibe, whereas this one feels a little bit lighter. It's a lot smoother as well. Everything is just mixing really nicely together. And now that it's dried down, why does it kind of remind me of Hypnotic Poison by Dior? Something about that rich vanilla is almost giving me Hypnotic Poison. Like, this would totally be a beautiful scent to pair up with this. I see this one definitely like a fall and winter time, almost more like a wintertime scent in a way. It's just super warm and cozy, but definitely has a sexiness about it as well. The warm bourbon and the vanilla liquor is totally doing it for me in this scent. Like, I really love it. And now that I'm actually smelling these two side by side, I don't think they're repackages anymore. Because when I first smelled it, I'm like, did they just change the notes and rename this and it's literally this? But now that I'm smelling them, they're totally different. So I definitely prefer Cozy Vanilla Bourbon to this though. I will say that. I'm really, really liking this. So if you're kind of iffy on these two scents and maybe you thought they were gonna be like generic vanillas, I mean, am I gonna sit here and say they're super unique? No, but they're really, really nice, and they are different to scents that I have in my collection, and I have a pretty large collection. Then I noticed this entire collection. I don't know collection names, okay? I just pick up things that I like, so don't ask me about the names of anything. They look really pretty. They don't look like cheap body sprays. So I'm gonna start with my least favorite, not because it's bad, but in comparison to the others, this would definitely rank kind of lower. This one is Moonlit Martini. I really love the name of this one, and I thought it was gonna give me a little bit more, but it kind of, again, I don't want to say disappointed me because I don't think it's a bad scent. I think it's really pretty, but it's just not what I was hoping it for it to be. So this one has notes of vibrant fruit, sparkling gin, and midnight musk. There's a lot of like alcohol oriented scents in this video. Yeah, I mean, this one's really nice. It's definitely on the fresher side for sure. And to be honest, I do kind of get that sparkling gin. There is like a little alcoholic vibe to it, like almost like a drink, and it is very vibrant. It does have a light little musky scent to it, but it's not too much at the same time. The color of this bottle and the juice inside is exactly what it smells like, so it's just more so giving the color blue, you know, just fresh, vibrant, sparkling. I think the most unique note in this is definitely that sparkling gin, because I think it adds a little bit more to the scent. It's not totally like a super generic scent, and it's kind of hard to pick between these two, but I would say this one is my next favorite. This is Copperfields. This is new. I'm assuming all of these are new because they're scents I hadn't heard of, but if these were scents that have come out before, let me know in the comments. This one has notes of harvest sun, fresh wildflowers, and bronzed woods. Immediately reading off those notes, I knew there was gonna be a little hint of like a, I don't know if I could say tropical, but like maybe slight tropical, just beachy vibes, some type of beachy vibe. And it totally does in the best way. I have to tell you what perfume this reminds me of, because then you'll understand why I love this so much. This reminds me of Miami Glow by JLo. I don't know what it is, like that tropical muskiness where it's not coconutty. Wow, this is so good. It's very perfumey and honestly super sexy. I haven't had these scents that long in my collection. I just kind of went based off of like first impressions in the store, and you know, when you're in that store, your nose is mixing with like a million other scents, so you can't really judge scents too much when you're in there. You kind of have to do the judging when you get out. And now that I'm smelling this, it smells even better than what I remember it at the store. This is more so the more year-round wearable version of Miami Glow. Miami Glow, you guys know I love. It's in my top like 10 scents for life. It will always be in my collection. But it is a scent that in my opinion is only like a summer scent. But this one is like, it has the same type of scent profile as it, but it also has more of like a wearable all year version. So that makes it perfect for me, because if I could wear Miami Glow all year round, that would be perfect for me, and now I can't. I'm gonna rank all these scents in the end of this video, but I'm telling you this right now, 10 out of 10. And then there's Sweet Whiskey. I think this is a repackage or something that they've brought back, because I'm pretty sure I remember hearing Sweet Whiskey. I don't know, let me know in the comments. But I love this scent. It's so good. It's like just Sweet Whiskey. It's just like vanilla, kind of creamy, but it also has that boozy vibe, which just gives it like this sexiness. This one has notes of golden amber, vanilla infused whiskey, and sweet red berries. Vanilla infused whiskey sounds amazing. That whiskey sort of gives this almost like a slight suede or like a leather note, which just again plays on that sexy. It has this mysterious vibe to it, and it's so good. I keep wanting to say 10 out of 10 again, but we'll wait off on the ratings. This scent definitely is the most disappointing out of them all, to be completely honest. Again, not because it smells bad, but to me, this one is definitely a repackage, and that is Chasing Fireflies. I decided to get this scent because a lot of you guys, when I did my last Bath and Body Works haul and this scent was out, a lot of you were telling me, oh my god, you need to get Chasing Fireflies. It's a new scent. It's so good. So I'm like, okay, let me give it a shot. And immediately, even when I smelled it in store, I totally thought it was a repackage of Fairy Tale. I mean, even the name Chasing Fireflies is kind of similar. But I do have Fairy Tale right here and the notes are different, but I don't know if this is a case of them just changing the notes and the scent is the same just so that it looks like it's a new scent. This Chasing Fireflies scent has notes of golden pear, jasmine blooms, and illuminated woods, whereas Fairy Tale has notes of pomegranate nectar, fresh orange blossom, and vanilla bean and warm amber. So definitely different notes, but the scent is so similar. Okay, now that I'm having them side by side, I still agree that they smell very, very similar. But I will say, Chasing Fireflies is not as sweet, which again makes sense because this one has that vanilla bean and the warm amber. So this one just feels more like well-rounded to me. It has a sweet factor, almost like a slight creaminess, whereas this one just feels more fresh. This smells exactly like a perfume I own, but I don't know which one. I want to say Libre, but now that it's drying down more, this totally reminds me of Jimmy Choo I Want Choo. It has that muskiness that that scent also had. Like, I'm talking about the original one because I know that they had a flanker to it, which I have the flanker. I think it's called I Want You Forever. That one is way sweeter and it's so much better than the original for me. This one smells like the original I Want You. Like, to be honest, now that I'm smelling it, I like it a little bit better than I liked it at the store. But I'm just kind of over this scent. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Jimmy Choo I Want You. It kind of is also like a mix of Libre by YSL. And it's just like, I feel like we are getting these scents so much nowadays that I'm just kind of tired. And Fairy Tale also was a dupe of YSL Libre, but I would say this one, now smelling them side by side with this, I feel like this is closer to the original Libre, whereas this one is closer to the Libre Intense because this one has that like sweeter feel to it. So at least I made that distinction now that I have this one. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's kind of boring. And then this last scent was definitely kind of like an impulse buy. I really wanted to get the full size of this, but they didn't have it out yet. So pretty much I went out to check out my mist, and where the checkout thing is, you know how they always like display the scents? I saw this and it was a new scent and they had a full size of it out for display. So I'm like, do you have any more of these? And she told me we only have the little travel sizes right now, but that they're gonna get the full size next week. So I decided just to get this one out because I wanted to review it for you guys. And when I smelled it, I really, really, really liked it. So this is called Luminous. And I can't read the notes on this little one, so I'm gonna pull them up on the Bath and Body Works website because the notes are never on the little minis. So this scent has notes of ruby currant, gilded iris, and praline amber. So really, really pretty notes. I remember seeing that praline and immediately I was like, I have to get this. This is really nice. Very, very sexy. There's a lot of dupes in this video. A lot of these mists smell a lot like designer fragrances. And this one does as well. This one is giving me black opium. There's just so many fragrances that smell like black opium nowadays. So that's kind of like annoying me. The more I smell this scent and like it's a new fragrance that I'm like so excited about, and then I go and smell it and it smells like black opium, I'm like, why? Why couldn't you do something more original? I still am considering buying the full size because I really, really like it. And as we know, Into the Night also smells a lot like black opium, but Into the Night is more coffee oriented. I would say this one is definitely a lot sweeter than black opium. And you know, black opium already is super sweet, but this one doesn't have that coffee. So it just feels a little bit more smooth. It doesn't really have anything like polarizing to it because I know not everybody loves coffee notes. This one also is reminding me a lot of that new Sol de Janeiro mist, After Dark, I think it's called. It's true to the notes, definitely like the ruby currant, the praline amber is there, the gilded iris is there. Iris always gives me like this lipsticky scent, and that's kind of what this one gives me because it kind of gives me a slight little vibe to Lipstick Fever as well by Juliet Has a Gun, which is very iris oriented and has that lipsticky smell. So that's how I know I'm definitely picking up that iris, and then definitely that ruby currant. It does feel like a very much like a red scent. It smells like Forever Red as well. It's not as boozy as Forever Red, but again, I'm just trying to pick out some scents in my head that this reminds me of so that I could give you guys sort of an idea. If you are familiar with any of those scents, at least you kind of get an idea of what this one smells like. So that is it for this haul. Now let me do a little rating, ranking type situation. I don't know if I can necessarily rank because that's kind of hard because there's a lot of these that I really, really love for different reasons. But let me just individually rate them. So Copperfields, 10 out of 10. Honestly, like hundreds out of 10 because it reminds me of Miami Glow. And any scent that reminds me of Miami Glow automatically is a 10. Sweet Whiskey, another 10 out of 10. It's so sexy. It's so delicious. Oh my god, this is so good and just rich smelling. Chasing Fireflies, I don't know, 5 out of 10. It's just not really, it's neither bad or good for me. It's just kind of like a bland, generic, blah kind of scent. Moonlit Martini, I would give a little bit higher than Chasing Fireflies just because I like it a little bit more, but still doesn't rank to as high as some of these others. Now, I feel like every time I start to wear scents, then I really can tell you how much I love them because I could say I don't really like it now and then I start wearing it and I start picking out on things that I really like or don't. But as of right now, I would rate Moonlit Martini a 7 out of 10. And then these two, Fresh Vanilla Blossoms, 10 out of 10. It reminds me of Sweet Tooth, and I love Sweet Tooth, so 10 out of 10. And Cozy Vanilla Bourbon, I really like this. I would give it like a 9 out of 10. I'm only giving it a 9 out of 10 just because I feel like I've smelled this type of scent before. And like I said, it does remind me of Fireside Flurries. I know we established in this video that they're not repackages, like they're not identical, but I'm only giving it a 9 out of 10 just because I love the scent, but it's, again, just a little, I guess a little generic. I have a lot of these kind of cozy vanilla, boozy vanillas type of scents in my collection, so that's the only reason why it gets a little point down from a 10 out of 10. And then Luminous, I would say the same. I would give it like a 9 out of 10 just because I really like the scent on its own. It reminds me of a lot of perfumes I really love and have in my collection. But again, for a new scent that I was super excited about, it's not giving me like wow, this is totally new, but it's still really good. So those are my ratings for everything. There was a lot of really high ratings. I honestly love everything. This is one of my best, I would say, Bath & Body Works hauls. I really love these scents. A lot of new scents. A lot of these mists are duping a lot of high-end designers, which kind of goes back to the idea that you don't need to spend a ton of money to get the scent of a designer, especially now that you have scents like these. Now, something I will say to those of you that are new to shopping at Bath & Body Works, or you're just getting into fragrances and you don't really want to go out and spend hundreds right away on perfumes, definitely go the body spray route just because, as you can see, you can get similar scent with sprays, but wait for their sales because you can get their scents for like $5 a piece. So definitely wait for those body care sales. Unless you really want to get their scents, you could do the buy 3 get 3, which is kind of like a last resort. But if you can wait and get them on sales or use your coupons that Bath & Body Works has a lot, definitely do that. So that is it for this video. Let me know which are your favorites out of all these new scents. That is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!